Welcome to the second session on Introduction to Meditation. In the first session, we learned about correct breathing, deep abdominal breathing, and the posture, deep, erect, alert. In this session, we will cover the fundamentals of meditation, which is awareness of breath. Just like stretching exercises can be done before physical activities to make sure they go better, or they can be done ease and off themselves, like in yoga. So awareness of breath can be used either as a preliminary to other forms of meditation or as a form of meditation by itself. In fact, we have already practiced awareness of breath when we practice deep abdominal breathing, because we are aware of how we are breathing. So observation of breath is the fundamental of meditation. Without it, we cannot proceed to other meditation practices. It is the beginning. It has a very relaxing effect on the mind, calming. It gives a sense of peace and tranquility, and recharges us with freshness and mental energy. After our mind is relaxed and calm due to observation of breath, we can also do other forms of meditation, such as observing the mind or observing physical sensations in the body, which we will cover in later sessions. So let's start with observation of breath. So we begin by sitting down in our meditation posture. Either we are on a chair or, like me, cross-legged. We sit down, spine erect, alert, not sleeping, head straight, looking outside, not falling down. Hands comfortable in any position, just comfortable. And we move our shoulders a little bit and relax our body a little bit, just to get the tension out. Good. So what we are going to do is observe the breath in several different ways. This will introduce a dynamics into the meditation session. It will make it more interesting and not so the same all the time. Less boring, if you like. We are going to do 5 different ways of looking at breath. If during a meditation session we do each for 2 minutes, we have a very nice 10 minutes meditation session. Very easy, dynamic, engaging. So we start with the first technique. Please try to practice as I speak. And when we finish with that, we'll introduce the other techniques. So, the first technique is the simplest one. As we breathe in, we internally say in. As we breathe out, we internally say out. So we replace the contents of our mind, thoughts, anxieties, worries, memories, plans. We replace them with a very simple in, out. This is the easiest way to focus on breath and leave behind you the thoughts of the day. So let's start with that for about a minute, and then we can proceed to the next method. It is recommended to spend at least 2 minutes observing the breath. So let's start. Taking a deep breath to relax. Taking deep natural breath. As I breathe in, I mentally say in. As I breathe out, I mentally say out. If we get distracted, no matter. Patiently and persistently, we bring our attention back to the breath. Good. Now, for the second exercise, we put our entire attention on the feeling of the passage of air coming in, inflating our lungs, and then going out, deflating the lungs. We focus on the feeling of the air, the freshness of it, the cooling of it, temperature of it, the texture of it. As it comes in, we smell the air, feel it, and focus our entire attention on that feeling. If we are distracted, no matter. We simply, patiently, persistently put our attention back on the breath. Let's do that. Focus on the feeling of breath. Good. For the third way of observing the breath, while taking natural relaxed breath, we are going to put our entire attention, alertly, diligently, on that precise point where the incoming breath turns into the outgoing breath, and on the point when the outgoing breath turns into the ingoing breath. Between the two motions, the inflating of the lungs and the deflating of the lungs, there is a point where the lungs neither inflate nor deflate. That tiny momentary pause, we want to put our entire attention on it. Alertly, diligently, like a tiger watching his prey, we wait for that moment to come as we observe the breath. And as it does, we mark it mentally now. We try to do it not sooner or not later, but be one with the breath so that we can identify the specific moment where the breath is neither coming in nor going out. Let's try. If distracted, always patiently and persistently go back to the exercise. No need to concern, no need to worry. That is why we practice. So let's start. Entire attention on the point of turning. Good. Now, for the third exercise, we are going to focus on the sound of the breath as it comes in and it goes out. Once again, very alert, very diligent, very focused, entire attention. on the sound. Let's do that. Good. The next method is called circular breathing. Practicing circular breathing is to create a perfect circle of breath. A circle of breath is characterized by the incoming breath and outgoing breath are of exactly equal length, and the transition between the two is as smooth and dynamic as possible, like a circle. So now I'm breathing out, reaching the top of the in-breath, and then breathing in. The in, out, in, out. But to do so, of course, in a perfect circle. Circular breathing requires a little bit more effort and training, but let's try. Remember, equal length of time between inhaling and exhaling, and transition as smooth as dynamic as possible. We try to eliminate that point we looked at before. Let's start. Good. Now, the last technique is called triangular breathing, and it's a good way to transition between observation of breath and the next stage, observation of mind. Triangular breathing is very simple. We inhale, and as we inhale, we count internally how long it takes us to inhale. As we end the inhaling phase, we keep our breath. We keep it in. We stop our breath, hold it, for the same length of time as it took us to inhale. And then we exhale for the same length of time again, making a perfect triangle. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, remaining, exhaling. Inhaling, holding, exhaling. Inhaling, holding, exhaling. A perfect equal limb triangle. So let's do this, and I will indicate with my hands as I'm breathing. Inhaling goes up, holding stays the same, exhaling goes down. So first I take deep breaths just to relax myself, and we begin. And so we continue. As we stay in that point where we are holding our breath, we try to listen to the silence in our head. It is a fact of how we are that as we hold our breath, our mind momentarily stops. It could be very brief, but holding on the breath almost always introduces internal silence for a moment. When we are in the phase of holding the breath, we focus our entire attention on the silence in the head. On that brief moment of silence, we try to experience it. It could be a second, it could be 2 seconds, it could be a microsecond. But there will be some silence. Find it, search it, enjoy it. Let's try again, this time putting our attention on the silence as we hold our breath. So, this concludes the session on observation of breath. Now, observation of breath is relaxing, calming, and has a fantastic effect on us. However, it is not very insightful. We learn very little from just observing the breath. In order for us to get more insight from our meditation and have practical tools at our disposal that we can apply in different situations in order to increase our well-being, we need to take it 1 or 2 steps further. The first such step is observation of mind, observation of thoughts. And that is what we are going to cover in the next session. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope you take the time to practice observation of breath. And see you next time. Thank you very much.